Let's face it, women often aren't drawn to the guy who's chasing them. The more you try to impress her, the less she seems to care. Why is that? Here's the harsh truth most men don't want to admit. Attraction isn't about what you do for her. It's about the energy you project. Women don't fall for desperation, they fall for men who understand their worth, regardless of her initial feelings. This video isn't about tricks, mind games, or manipulation. It's about teaching you how to become a man she can't help but notice, even if she doesn't seem interested at first. Attraction isn't always instant. Many men fail because they're too focused on making her feel something instead of focusing on becoming someone worth feeling something for. Here's the controversial part. Women are hardwired to value what feels rare, confident, and unattainable. When you act like her disinterest is a blow to your self-esteem, you've already lost. But if you can stand tall, stay composed, and carry an energy that screams, "I'm good whether you're here or not," everything changes. Some of you might think, "But I'm a nice guy. Why shouldn't that be enough?" The harsh reality is, being nice isn't what makes you stand out. Women are attracted to strength, mystery, and self-assurance. This doesn't mean you have to be arrogant or disrespectful. It means you need to stop seeking her approval and start living like you're the prize. Throughout this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to attract a woman, even one who initially seems uninterested. But be warned, this isn't about begging, proving yourself, or bending over backward. It's about flipping the script and becoming the kind of man who naturally pulls people in. Stay tuned because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to turning her indifference into curiosity, and maybe even into desire. Now let's dive into the steps that will change the way you see attraction forever. 1. Stop chasing. Let her come to you. When it comes to attracting a woman, the biggest mistake most men make is chasing her. It's instinctive for many men to pursue someone they're interested in, thinking it's the key to winning her over. But here's the hard truth. Chasing doesn't create attraction. It kills it. When you chase, you're subconsciously telling her that you're not worth her time unless you prove it. And that's a game you can never win. Women don't respond to desperation. They respond to value. Chasing puts you in a position of neediness, and nothing repels a woman faster than a man who seems like he needs her to validate his worth. Imagine this scenario. You text her first every time, follow up when she doesn't respond, and constantly ask her out. At first, she might be flattered by the attention, but soon it becomes overwhelming. Instead of seeing you as a confident man who has options, she starts to see you as someone who doesn't value himself enough to stop and let her make an effort. It's human nature. People value what they work for. If you're always available, she won't feel the need to pursue you because you're already too easy to reach. Flip the script by stopping the chase. Focus on your life, your goals, and your happiness. When you shift your attention from her to yourself, something powerful happens. You create a gap. That gap gives her time to think about you, miss you, and wonder why you've stopped chasing. The more you invest in yourself and pull back your attention, the more she'll start to notice. And when she does, she'll respect you more because you're showing self-respect. Here's the shift. A man who stops chasing gains power. For example, if you always initiated plans with her and suddenly you stop, she'll feel the difference. She might wonder if you've lost interest or if someone else has your attention. That curiosity creates intrigue, and intrigue is the foundation of attraction. Men, stop running after someone who isn't running toward you. Build your value, let her see it, and give her the chance to step forward. Chasing won't get you the result you want, but showing you're worth the chase just might. 2. Confidence. Over compliments. Confidence is the foundation of attraction, and it's something you need to prioritize over handing out endless compliments. Compliments can be nice, but when overused or given without substance, they lose their value. Worse, they can make you seem like you're seeking approval rather than showing genuine interest. Women see through empty flattery, and if you rely on it too much, it can come across as insincere or even desperate. Confidence, on the other hand, is a game changer. It's the unspoken energy that communicates your value without saying a word. Imagine this. Instead of showering her with compliments about how beautiful she looks, you hold yourself with composure, maintain steady eye contact, and let your actions do the talking. Confidence isn't about arrogance or bragging. It's about knowing your worth and not needing constant validation. Women find this deeply attractive because it sets you apart from the crowd. When you don't rely on compliments to keep the conversation going, you create a sense of intrigue. She starts to wonder what you're thinking and wants to earn your attention, rather than take it for granted. Now, this doesn't mean you should never compliment a woman. When done sparingly and with sincerity, a well-timed compliment can be powerful. But it should come from a place of confidence, not an attempt to win her approval. For example, instead of bombarding her with generic praise like, "You're so pretty," you might say, "I like the way you carry yourself. It's refreshing." That kind of comment stands out because it's thoughtful and different, and it doesn't make you seem like you're seeking anything in return. Confidence shows in how you carry yourself, how you talk, and even how you handle rejection. If you can walk away without feeling the need to beg for her attention, it speaks volumes about your self-respect. Women are naturally drawn to men who don't need to prove their worth because it signals strength and stability. Confidence isn't loud, it's quiet, steady, and undeniable. The lesson here? Stop relying on compliments as your main strategy. Instead, let your confidence speak for you. Build it by focusing on yourself, improving your life, and believing in your own value. When you do, you'll find that the right women will notice, and they'll do so without you having to chase their approval. 3. Master the art of mystery. Mystery is one of the most underrated yet powerful tools in attraction. It's human nature to be curious about the unknown, and that curiosity drives desire. Think about it. When someone reveals everything about themselves too quickly, there's nothing left to discover and interest fades. But when you hold a little back, it creates an air of intrigue that keeps her thinking about you long after the conversation ends. Women are naturally drawn to men who are not an open book. If you share every detail of your life up front, there's no room for her to wonder who you are or what makes you tick. That's where most men go wrong. They feel the need to overshare in an attempt to connect, but it has the opposite effect. Mystery, on the other hand, signals confidence and self-control. It says, "I don't need to spill my life story to impress you." This doesn't mean you should be cold or unapproachable. The key is to balance openness with a sense of privacy. Share enough to be engaging, but hold back enough to leave her wanting more. For instance, instead of telling her everything about your past relationships or future goals, drop hints and let her ask questions. This turns the interaction into a two-way street and makes her invest in the conversation. She starts to chase that feeling of discovery, which deepens her interest in you. Mystery also means being unpredictable in the best way. If you're always available, always saying yes, or always predictable in your actions, it becomes boring. But when you keep her guessing, when you're sometimes unavailable, or make surprising, thoughtful gestures, it keeps the spark alive. She'll look forward to your next move, and that anticipation creates a powerful connection. The art of mystery is also about knowing your value and not overexposing yourself. When you're confident enough to maintain boundaries and let her come to you, it shows that you're a man with a life and priorities. That kind of self-assuredness is magnetic. In the end, being mysterious isn't about playing games or withholding affection. It's about letting her discover you at her own pace. When you master this, you'll find that her attraction isn't fleeting. It grows stronger with time, fueled by her desire to know more. 4. Value yourself more than you. Value her, men. Let's get something straight. If you don't value yourself, no one else will. And that includes women. Too many men make the fatal mistake of putting a woman on a pedestal, thinking that by doing so, she'll see them as worthy. But the harsh truth is, the moment you start valuing her more than you value yourself, you've already lost. Attraction dies when respect is absent, and respect only comes when you show you value yourself first. Here's the reality. Women aren't looking for someone to worship them. They're looking for someone who knows his worth, has his own life, and isn't willing to sacrifice everything just to gain her approval. If your entire sense of self is tied to how she feels about you, you've handed over all your power. And let's be honest, when a woman senses that, she's not going to admire you for it. She's going to question why you don't see your own value. The issue is that many men operate from a place of insecurity. They're afraid of losing her, so they bend over backward to please her. They sacrifice their time, interests, and even dignity just to keep her happy. But here's the wake-up call. The more you devalue yourself, the less she'll value you too. Women don't want a doormat, they want a partner, an equal, someone they can look up to. Start valuing yourself by setting boundaries. If she's crossing lines or treating you disrespectfully, call it out. Stop saying yes to everything just because you're scared of upsetting her. Learn to walk away when your needs and values aren't being met. It's not about being selfish, it's about self-respect. And believe it or not, self-respect is incredibly attractive. Also, stop prioritizing her happiness over your own. Yes, relationships require compromise, but not at the cost of losing who you are. A man who values himself knows what he brings to the table and isn't afraid to let her see that. He's not chasing validation or approval because he already knows his worth. It's time to wake up. Start treating yourself like you matter, and she'll start seeing you in a whole new light. When you value yourself more, you naturally attract women who value you too. But first, you've got to believe it yourself. 5. Scarcity. Wins don't always be available. Scarcity is one of the most powerful psychological tools in attraction. Think about it. People don't crave what's always at their fingertips. They desire what feels rare, exclusive, and valuable. Yet, so many men make themselves overly available, believing that constant presence equals connection. Wrong. When you're always there, always reachable, and always saying yes, you lose the magnetic pull of scarcity. Women are wired to be intrigued by what they can't easily have. If you're always texting, always showing up, and always accommodating, where's the mystery? Where's the challenge? Constant availability screams, "I have nothing better to do," and that's not a message that inspires desire. Being scarce doesn't mean playing games or ignoring her. It means showing that your time is precious, and you won't just hand it out like free samples at a store. When you're not always available, you send a clear message: you have your own life. You're busy pursuing your goals, your passions, and your own happiness. That's attractive because it shows independence and strength. And guess what? When you're less available, she starts to notice your absence. Suddenly, she's wondering what you're up to, why you're not replying immediately, or why you didn't drop everything to meet her. This curiosity builds intrigue, and intrigue fuels attraction. Here's the key. Scarcity works because it creates space. It gives her room to think about you, to miss you, and to reflect on your value. If you're always around, she doesn't have the opportunity to realize what life feels like without you in it. And if she doesn't experience that absence, how can she truly appreciate your presence? However, let's be clear, scarcity doesn't mean manipulation. It's about balance. If you're so distant that she feels ignored or unimportant, you'll push her away entirely. The goal isn't to punish her with your absence, but to respect your own time and energy. When you do this, you naturally become more valuable in her eyes. So stop being so readily available. Cancel the 24/7 hotline treatment. Start prioritizing yourself and your time. Let her work for your attention. When you create scarcity, you shift the dynamic. Suddenly, you're not just a guy who's always there. You're the man she's eager to see again. Scarcity wins because it reminds her that you're not just an option. You're a prize. 6. Challenge her. Don't always agree. When you challenge a woman's thoughts, opinions, or ideas, it sparks a dynamic shift in the relationship. Women want to feel like they can have a real conversation with a man, one that doesn't just revolve around him agreeing with everything she says. Too many men fall into the trap of constant agreement, thinking that by always nodding along, they're being supportive or making things easier. But what happens is, you become predictable and uninteresting. Being a challenge doesn't mean being combative or argumentative. It means offering your perspective and showing that you have your own mind. It's about stepping up and offering an alternative point of view when the moment calls for it. This is what keeps her intrigued and keeps the relationship from getting stale. When you can engage in meaningful debates, express different viewpoints, and challenge her ideas without dismissing hers, you show emotional intelligence and confidence. Now, let's talk about why this works. Women want to see that you're comfortable in your own skin and aren't afraid to stand your ground. When you're constantly agreeing with everything she says, it can come off as though you lack confidence or that you're trying too hard to please her. This may feel safe in the short term, but in the long run, it creates a boring dynamic. She wants to see your independent thinking and a man who is confident enough to present his own views. Take, for example, a situation where a woman expresses an opinion about a movie, and instead of just agreeing with her, you offer your own take. You might say, "I see where you're coming from, but I didn't really enjoy that film because the pacing was off for me. What did you think of that part?" In doing so, you're showing respect for her opinion, but also expressing your own thoughts. This sparks a deeper conversation, and it sets you apart from other guys who are simply agreeing with her to get by. It's a powerful move. When you show that you're not afraid to challenge her opinions, you're showing that you value your own perspective, that you have substance, and that you're not just trying to win her over with empty flattery. In the end, this challenge creates more attraction, respect, and real connection. And that's how you build a relationship based on true equality, not just surface-level agreement. 7. Show ambition, not obsession. Showing ambition is one of the most attractive traits you can have. Ambition is about knowing where you're headed in life, having goals, and working towards something bigger than just the present moment. But here's the key. Ambition should never cross the line into obsession. Too many men get this wrong by putting a woman at the center of their universe, thinking that their success or happiness hinges on her approval. When you do this, you're not only risking your own self-worth, but you also begin to drain the attraction she feels for you. Ambition is about personal growth, creating opportunities, and working toward goals that make you a better version of yourself. It's about having the desire to be successful in your own right, regardless of anyone else's approval or presence. Women are attracted to men who are going somewhere in life, who have direction, and who are driven to reach their full potential. Obsession, on the other hand, is a huge turnoff. When you're obsessed with her or the relationship, you're no longer focused on your own growth or success. You're focused on pleasing her, making her happy, and hoping that she'll approve of you in return. This imbalance of focus leads to a lack of respect, and ultimately, it diminishes your attraction factor. It's crucial to understand that while you might be thinking that giving her more of your attention will make her happy, you're actually making yourself less attractive in her eyes. Obsession makes you come off as needy and insecure, a far cry from the confident, driven man she's drawn to. The balance lies in being focused on your life, your career, your passions, and your goals, while still making time for her when it makes sense. For example, if you're working toward a career milestone and a woman texts you asking if you're free this weekend, a healthy response would be to express your enthusiasm for seeing her, but also explaining that you're focused on something important at the moment. A statement like, "I'm really working hard on this project, but I'd love to catch up later this week when I have a break," shows that you value your ambitions, but also want to make time for her in your life. When you show ambition, you're telling her that you're a man who is in control of his own life. When you're obsessed, you're telling her that she's the only thing that matters. Ambition creates attraction, obsession kills it. Be the man who's focused on his future, not the one who's trapped in her approval. 8. Be physically present, but emotionally unpredictable. Being physically present is important, no doubt about that. Women appreciate men who show up, who are there when they need them, and who are dependable. However, if you want to attract and keep her attention, it's equally important to master the art of being emotionally unpredictable. Let's break this down. When you're emotionally predictable, you become boring. You're like clockwork. Every time she calls or texts, she knows exactly how you'll react, always the same. She can predict how you'll feel about things, how you'll respond to her mood, and what your next move will be. That's not interesting. In fact, it gets old. It doesn't leave her with any challenge, and over time, the attraction fades. But when you become emotionally unpredictable, you keep her on her toes. You don't give away all your feelings right away. You hold back a little, leaving her wondering, intrigued, and, most importantly, emotionally engaged. This is not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about showing that you're a man with depth, with his own emotional world that isn't entirely about her. Being emotionally unpredictable means that sometimes you don't always react the way she expects. Maybe you don't always text back immediately. You're not glued to your phone 24/7. Maybe you seem confident and calm when things seem chaotic, or you handle things in a way that surprises her. You don't make your whole world about her, and that creates curiosity. Women are drawn to men who are not just an open book. There's something magnetic about the mystery and the challenge of figuring you out. This approach doesn't mean playing hard to get or pretending to be uninterested when you actually are. It's more about showing that you're a whole person, not someone who's constantly reacting to her emotions. You have your own life, your own interests, and you're not just chasing after her validation. When you keep your emotions a little unpredictable, it helps to keep the attraction alive. It creates space for her to miss you, wonder about you, and value the moments she does get with you. She starts to appreciate the time you share, and more importantly, she respects the fact that you don't give her everything all at once. Being present physically is easy. Being emotionally unpredictable is what sets you apart. 9. Focus on your purpose, not her attention. Gentlemen, this one's crucial, and it's time for some tough love. If you're focusing more on getting her attention than on building your own purpose, you're doing it all wrong. Many men fall into the trap of chasing after validation from a woman, thinking that if they just give her attention, she'll be impressed or fall for them. But here's the cold, hard truth. Women are not attracted to men who put them on a pedestal and make them the center of their world. That's weak behavior, and it's time you snapped out of it. Your purpose should always come first. And by purpose, I mean your goals, your ambitions, your passions, and your sense of self-worth. When you're constantly seeking validation from her, you're signaling that you lack direction and that you need her to fill the void in your life. That's unattractive. Women want a man who has his life together, a man who is driven, and a man who's busy working towards something meaningful. She wants to see that you have your own purpose that doesn't revolve around her. When you prioritize your purpose, You build attraction through self-respect and independence. You don't need to chase her attention because you're too busy being the best version of yourself. She sees your passion and drive, and that's what draws her in. Your purpose creates a sense of mystery and value. When she knows you're not just sitting around waiting for her to call, she starts to wonder why you're so busy. It becomes a challenge to her. You become the man who is respected, admired, and desirable because you're living life on your terms. But let's get real. Some of you might be sitting there thinking, but I'm interested in her, and I want to spend time with her. That's fine. But you should never drop everything for her or prioritize her over your goals. If you do, you'll lose respect for yourself, and she'll lose respect for you. A man who doesn't have a clear sense of purpose isn't a man she'll want to invest in long term. So wake up, gentlemen. Focus on your purpose, and the right woman will come along because she'll see you as the prize, not the other way around. It's time to stop being desperate for attention and start building the life you deserve. That's how you'll attract a woman who truly values you. 10. Attraction is energy, control yours. All right, let's talk about energy, because it's not just about looks, charm, or what you say. It's about how you carry yourself and the energy you project. A man's energy is his most powerful tool when it comes to attraction. And if you're not consciously controlling it, you're probably sabotaging your chances without even knowing it. Attraction is about how you make her feel, not just about what you do. When you walk into a room, you either command attention or you don't. It's not just your presence, it's the energy that you radiate. If you're insecure, desperate, or unsure of yourself, that energy is going to show. And trust me, she'll feel it. The most attractive men are the ones who have their energy in check. They're calm, confident, and self-assured. Their energy is magnetic, and it pulls people in without them even trying. Now, you might be thinking, how do I control my energy? It starts with being grounded and present. Stop living in your head. Stop overthinking every move you make, and start acting with intention. When you control your energy, you can decide how you want to show up. You become emotionally stable, not easily rattled by small things. And this is key to attracting a woman who will respect you. Confidence is a huge part of energy. If you walk around unsure of yourself, constantly seeking approval, that energy is off. But when you're confident, you naturally exude power. And power isn't about dominating someone or being aggressive. It's about knowing your worth and owning it. When you know your worth, you're not chasing validation. You're not running after her approval because you already approve of yourself. This creates an aura of confidence that women are drawn to, and that's the kind of energy that gets attention. Your energy also has to be consistent. If one moment you're the life of the party, and the next you're withdrawn or distant, that sends mixed signals. She won't know how to react to you. But when your energy is steady, calm, and confident, you become predictable in a way that makes you attractive. You'll never have to force attraction again. She'll feel that balance and stability in your presence, and that's when the attraction becomes magnetic. So control your energy and watch how women respond. Your presence will shift from nice guy to the man she wants to know better. You're not chasing her energy. Your energy leads the way. The key is not forcing it. It's about being in tune with yourself and allowing your natural energy to do the work. Here's a truth that's going to sting a little. Most men make the mistake of thinking that chasing a woman will make her like them more. The reality? Chasing a woman pushes her away. If you want to keep things real, if you want to see the attraction grow, stop trying to win her over and start living your life with purpose. When you stop caring if she notices you, that's when she'll start caring. You've been going about it all wrong, giving her all the attention and effort, thinking it'll make her want you more. But the opposite happens. Women are attracted to men who have their own lives, their own purpose, and their own passions. When she sees you're not obsessed with her, that's when the tables turn. Stop chasing, start living, and she'll come running. I want to hear from you. Comment below with your experience. Have you been chasing or have you been chasing your own dreams? Let's connect. I'll personally reach out to engage and discuss your journey. Remember, you're not alone in this. I'm here to help you step into your power. So, drop your thoughts below, and let's keep this conversation going. Stop chasing, start attracting.